What is going on, guys? The Brothers All Gaming with my review of Seraph of the End episode 2, and once again we have another very simple episode. And the episode itself, it starts off with like the flashback, and we see now that even though he has grown up in the last 4 years, he is still haunted by his past. And we see now that like every time he actually closes his eyes, he is still haunted by that day where his family was like slaughtered by that vampire. And we see now that right there carry just like heavy burden onto him. But we see now that in reality, you here have grown up a lot, and we see now this guy definitely has some skill. There was like this giant creature, I believe it was called one of the four horsemen of John, and this thing was like a vampire monster. Obviously, it was definitely, some kind of vampire, but we have no idea how and why it looks so monstrous, because we saw the vampire looking very human-like, but this one would look like a monster. And we see now that these are two adults. They could not handle this beast, and they wanted even to back off. But we see you here kill this single-handedly, and that right there shows like how much he has grown over these last 4 years. But we see that because he disobeyed orders, he actually got suspended, and now he had to attend school. Now it wasn't clear if this right here was something he did normally, or maybe it was because that he was suspended. But we see now that he hated school, because all he wants to do is go out there and kill vampires. So that right there is definitely a thorn in his plans right now. But we see that this teacher, for some reason, to me, they're teaching him about the prick, because he had this anger problem. I don't know why he got so mad, but him and you was going back and forth, and you hear once they have to get suspended. And we see now the other teacher, this guy was about to blow his lid. But we see now that this one girl named Shinoa, hopefully I'm saying her name right, she had made you cooperate, because this girl was this girl was a superior of you, and as she could report to the army, and that right there would increase the length of his of how long he'll be suspended. So he had no choice now but to follow the rules. And we see now that when school was over, there was this one kid getting picked on for no reason. And we see now that you at first he was going to ignore it, but you was definitely has a good heart, and there was no way that he could just walk off. And we see now that when you here stood up for this guy, Shinoa here told him about one more rule where he cannot hurt any civilian. And so that right there gave the thugs the upper hand, because you here actually challenged to a fight, and that's when Shinoa had dropped that bombshell on him. So you had no choice but to become their errand boy. And so we see you and the kid they were bullying, they were bringing these things back to these kids, and we learn more about the kid that they were first picking on. And right now I can think of his name, but we did learn about his past, where his sister was killed by a vampire. And that right there was definitely pretty rough to hear, because we saw that, and his sister sacrificed him. Sacrificed herself to save his life. And that right there was definitely something rather impressive. But not only that, we see now that this kid, he actually tried to join the army, but he actually failed the enlistment. And so right now, because the guards that they were serving right now, one of them said they were part of the army. So this kid here wants to get in the good graces, so to say, of this guy, so that he could help him join. But we have you here kind of being a hypocrite, because he was saying that his sister would not want him to get revenge. But that what they could be said for all those siblings, could feel the same way about you, to for him just live his own life and not get revenge for them. But we see now that when you was leaving, and we had the other two alone, out of nowhere, this explosion happened. And we see now that for some idiotic reason, a vampire, was kept locked up close to the school. And we see now that it broke free, and it started running amok. And we see now that it's causing trouble. And so obviously, we have Shinoa. she was going to do, the right thing and, call the army, but you have like stopped her from that because he wanted to be the one, to take it on, because he was like so set on making Goran, who actually, their leader, recognize him, because all you wants to do is like kill these vampires, and you can just see that, just like with Ben, it's just driving him so much. But we see now that for some reason or somehow he was able to bring a gun and a sword to school, because we saw that it was kept in his locker. And so now we see that when he went to confront the vampire, you see like the bodies on the ground, so obviously, they were dead. Oh, and for some reason, I don't know why, you see all these kids, like running away, but there were like these two girls that were like right there on these steps, and to me, that right there, which is so stupid, because even if you're scared, that right there does not give you the right, to just, stand frozen in place, or to be a coward and, and do nothing. You should obviously, like run away so that, you can escape. But those two girls, like they just sat there on the step, like frozen, like a sculptor, so to say. But now we see that when you confronted the vampire, she was actually about to, like drink the blood of a girl, and we have this one guy that was like bragging about being a part of the army, but this guy made up a lie, and that right there, that right there go to show you, you cannot believe everyone, because the only reason why he said that, it was because he wanted everybody, to like fear and respect him, but this guy was like nothing more than a coward. But now we have you fighting the vampire, and I gotta say, you here was like impressive, because just like vampire was pretty quick, but we have you here, keeping up, and like they were going back and forth, like through these exchanges, and that right there was pretty good. And not only that, you also, you also did, just like this pretty good attack where he actually cut off the vampire arm. But also because he wanted to protect this girl, that right there gave the vampire enough time, to reattach her arm. So now we see that the vampire, obviously she was not at her strongest, so she was going to like drink the blood of that girl. And I thought at first, like maybe she was, so we could see more of like you skill, but that right there was not the case. As that kid, who wanted to join, actually came out of nowhere and like tackled the vampire, and that right there, like was pretty brave, because at first he seemed, rather cowardly, but this guy actually manned up. And so we see now that the vampire, she was now like pretty ticked off, and so we see that she was going to like kill the kid, but luckily you came there and protected him. But not only that, we have the vampire, like making you back up till he eventually, like broke out of this window, and they were like falling. And I thought at first, like maybe you would like somehow get advantage to like turn, so that maybe the vampire would be the one on the bottom. But that right there was not the case. But luckily, they had landed like on this bush, and that right there definitely like softened the fall quite a bit. But not only that, we see now that like even though you cut off the vampire arm, and they actually didn't impale her, that right there was like not enough to kill it. And so now we see the only way to kill these vampires, or at least these kind of, and not the monsters, is with like this curse blade, and that right there is what Goran has. And that also explains, like why his blade was like red and black and not like, a regular steel color. But we see now that the vampire, when it was, like stabbed and cut, we see his body now, like turn to ashes, and that right there, like was pretty brutal. And so now we see that, and so now we see that, now we see that because like did a pretty good job. Goran here did sort of, like recognize his skill, and not only that, we also saw the other members of the Moon Demon Company, and it's like actually, like, only a few of them. I believe it's like Goran and then a few others, like 4 others, and I'm not sure if that would includes Shinoa, like maybe she's a part of it or what. I'm not really sure, but we see now that like Goran here, he was still not like you join, even though he did so well. Because he got to make a friend, and I forgot that right there was like also one of the rules of his suspension because, you know, he had to make a friend and show that friend off to Gurren. But we see now that kid, he was like so worried, you know, about you that when he came down and tackled him, he made you hit head pretty hard against the concrete, and that really, you know, like knocked him out. Because we see now that now we see that because he finally has a friend, you know, this time when he has that nightmare, his family can, you know, finally move on, but they leave him with the worst, like that he needs to hear, that, you know, he has more to live for than like just revenge, because he's a pretty nice guy, and we see now that he is scared to lose people again, which is why, you know, he acted so cold in the first place. And so now we see that when they were gone, he wakes up. He now, you know, like finds himself in the hospital. And so we learn now that because he did so well, and because, you know, he made a friend, him and his new friend, they will now actually join, you know, the Moon Demon Company. And that was great news, because I do believe from the opening, which I did like a lot, even though it did spoil a few things, obviously. You know, I believe his friend will be, you know, like a long range fighter, like, you know, an archer. So that right there, I will definitely be looking forward to, you know, his process to like reaching that. But overall, the episode, like I said, it was good. I enjoyed it. Like personally, I'll probably give it, you know, an 8 out of 10. But of course, I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on this. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe, because it really helps me out. And you guys take it easy. And I will see you all next time.